Hello there again, my strong friends. I hear that some people are bummed out because they can't do a pull-up. Now, if you're not able to do it, don't let it ruin your day. A lot of strong people weren't able to do a pull-up at some point in their lives, and I know for sure that newborns can do pull-ups. Now, some babies on the other hand can do them. That's because, well, babies are spooky. But no worries, I'm here to help you. Hopefully. Given the fact that I recently recovered after my little strain, I thought I would do this video since I would have to start over from a lower level for a while, so I don't restrain myself, which I suggest you do too if you had an injury. Now, some people would say that you should keep trying to do a pull-up even though you can't do it, and I kind of find that amusing. Well, mainly because it can be true, but maybe not in the way that you're thinking about it. The way that it works is not by just trying to lift yourself even though you can't. To make that work better, you need to start doing negatives, which will help in building up your strength. However, most people just get tired of doing negatives, or maybe just they can't do them slow enough. So instead, I would recommend these next exercises. You have to incorporate some sort of pulling in your workouts even though you can't do a pull-up. So we're gonna work up our way in difficulty starting from level 1. Here we have bodyweight rows on rings, or if you have a low enough bar, you can do it on that. But I recommend the rings since you can adjust them accordingly and are more comfortable since they twist with your arm. And to start off, I would suggest you set them up around chest height. But just so you know, the higher you set up the rings, the easier the exercise will be, and the lower you set it up, the harder it gets. I would personally suggest you try to progress up to 3 sets of 20 reps before you move the rings lower and lower. That is just so your muscles and joints get used to a bigger and bigger load, and really try to focus on the movement to create a good mind-muscle connection. Because your nervous system also has to catch up, so start in the highest position where you can do somewhere between 8 to 12 reps, and keep working it until you get to 20 reps, and move lower and lower until you get all the way to the bottom like this. You can try to bend your knees or stick your legs out. I always tend to sleep if I put my legs out, so I did it like this. But the legs out variation is slightly harder. If you can do it, go for it. Just make sure you do them nicely and keep your body straight. After you get up to 20 reps at least in bodyweight rows, I suggest you try these half pull-ups, or as I like to call them, seated pull-ups, because they kind of look like you're sitting down in the bottom position. Again, you can do these on a rings or a pull-up bar if you have one that allows you to get into this position. Or if the bar is too high off the ground, you can use a chair or maybe some other object to put your legs on so there's some assistance. Rest your legs in front of you and focus on pulling up as you would in a normal pull-up. The feeling is exactly the same as a standard pull-up, except you are pulling less weight. Work on this variation up to 20 reps, and after you get to the goal, try to move on to the next variation, which for some people, surprise surprise, is going to be the pull-up itself. But in case that's just not happening for you yet, try to do some negative pull-ups now. Yes, this is where the negatives come in, when you're close to it but not quite there yet. I know some people say to stop being so negative, but in this case it's a good thing. Simply get to the top position and see how slow you can lower yourself. By this point, you should be able to go pretty slow on the negative part of the movement. So try to do 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps from here, but really try to focus on holding yourself on the way down. Just remember, time under tension is the key when doing negative pull-ups. Another problem for some people may be the actual scapula, so try doing some isolation work on that. Some scapula pull-ups should help increase your total strength, and when you go back to trying the standard pull-ups, you will find it easier to do. At least for the bottom part. If your sticking point is at the top, try to do some partial pull-ups, but only for the top part. This should help you to improve your arm strength in order to pull yourself all the way up. So try to do a few sets like this to increase your strength in the top part. But when you notice you can't go high enough anymore, just stop and take some rest. You can also apply the same principle for the bottom part if you tend to have some problems there. Just remember to finish off your workout with a full range of motion exercise, such as the row or the seated pull-ups, or else you're just gonna get used to doing them halfway, and I don't think you want that. Alternatively, you can also try to incorporate some curls so that you improve your bicep strength, if you believe that might be the problem. I can vouch that this can be a very effective exercise if done correctly, so give it a shot. After getting through these base exercises, you should be able to do a few pull-ups now. And if you do, don't forget to let me know. Leave a mood down in the comments if I helped you out. That would be awesome. Oh, and another thing, if you're confused about the hand positioning, if you don't know if to use a pronated grip or a supinated grip, just do whatever feels comfortable for you right now, as it doesn't really matter. I personally prefer the pronated grip since it feels more natural, but on the rings I just tend to do it in a neutral position like this. So just do it however it feels more comfortable to you. And if after a while you manage to find pull-ups easy, try to do some harder variations like a narrow grip, like archer pull-ups or weighted pull-ups if you want to. Now, if you feel that the starting exercise on this list might be a bit too easy for you, which might as well be the case for some people, do yourself a favor and start on a bit of a harder exercise. Some people might just need to start at a seated pull-ups, others might need to start at bodyweight rows. Nah, heck, even maybe just doing negatives is gonna help you out. It all depends on how strong you currently are, or how heavy. If being too heavy is the case, then losing some weight will directly affect your pulling strength. You wouldn't gain much strength, but you will be pulling a lot less weight. However, if you're a big guy at like 150 kilos and you manage to do at least 5 pull-ups after following these exercises, then you have all my respect. That is no easy feat. So don't forget to set your goals at 3 sets of 20 reps and then move up in the difficulty until you get where you need to be. I'll give you one example of workout if you're not sure how to start out. Depending on how much you can take at once, you might do less sets or more, depending on how you feel. So for example, I would go and do 3 sets of seated pull-ups, followed by 3 sets of bodyweight rows, and 3 sets of bodyweight curls. And that's it. That's your workout for 2 times a week now. Just make sure you stick to it for at least a month and you will see some actual progress. Of course, you might not be able to do 3 sets of each at first, but try to play around and see what works. And you would probably be surprised how quickly you will gain strength. Also, don't forget to eat enough. You won't get anywhere if you don't have enough fuel in your belly. Most of the time, it's not the exercise itself that is the problem. It's just that people aren't being consistent in training. And that's a real progress stopper. I hope you enjoyed this one and have a great day.